Hello everyone, got 4 dirty jokes for you today. So Wanda had an amazing gift, the ability to give amazing head while serenading you. One man had to know how she did it, so he called her on the phone. No problem, Wanda said. Just come to my office at 5 p.m. tomorrow with $100 and a blindfold. Put on the blindfold when you walk in my office, unzip your pants, and enjoy. The man did as he was told and received the best head of his life, all while being sung to. After he left, he called Wanda back and asked, "Okay, I'll pay you an extra $100. How do you do that while singing?" Wanda replied, 2 ways. First, I took singing lessons since I was 5. Second, I only have one eye. Once upon a time, there was a young woman who had just graduated from high school. She was thrilled when she met a charming man who swept her off her feet. They got married, but her happiness didn't last long. One day, she came home to find her husband in bed with another woman. Her heart was shattered, but she eventually found the strength to move on and start over. After some time, she met another man who she fell deeply in love with. They got married, but unfortunately, this man turned out to be abusive. He would hit her whenever he got angry, and she lived in fear for much of their marriage. Eventually, she found the courage to leave him, but it was a difficult and painful process. Determined to find love again, she began dating once more. She met a man who seemed perfect in every way, except for one crucial detail: he was terrible in bed. Despite this, she decided to marry him, hoping that their intimacy would improve over time. Unfortunately, it never did, and she had to face the difficult decision of divorcing yet again. Feeling discouraged and hopeless, she decided to try online dating. She was upfront and honest about her requirements, stating that she was looking for a man who would never hit her, never run off with another woman, and be good in bed. She didn't have high hopes, but about 3 weeks later, her doorbell rang. She opened the door to find a man in a wheelchair with no arms and no legs. He introduced himself and said, "Hello, I think I'm your perfect man." She was taken aback and asked him how he could possibly be perfect for her. The man replied, "Well, I have no arms, so I will never beat you, and I have no legs, so I will never run off with another woman." The woman was intrigued and asked the man, "But are you good in bed?" Without hesitation, the man replied, "I rang the doorbell, didn't I?" So a man and his mostly deaf wife decide to go on a road trip, and they find themselves running low on gas. They pull up to an old-fashioned gas station in the middle of nowhere. As they wait for the attendant to come out, the man turns to his wife and says, "I hope this place isn't too expensive." The wife, struggling to hear him, replies, "What you say?" The man repeats himself louder, "I hope this place isn't too expensive." Finally, the attendant emerges and greets them, "Good afternoon, folks. Can I help you with something today?" The wife, still having trouble hearing, turns to her husband and asks, "What he say?" The husband replies, "He wants to know if we need any help." The attendant starts to fill up the gas tank and then asks, "Would you like me to check the oil while I'm at it?" Again, the wife turns to her husband and asks, "What he say?" The husband responds, "He wants to know if he should check the oil." As the gas is pumping and the attendant is checking the oil, he strikes up a conversation with the husband. "So, where are you folks from?" The husband proudly responds, "We're from Austin, Texas." The attendant chuckles and says, "Well, I'll be damned. The worst sex I ever had was in Austin." The wife, not catching the joke, asks her husband, "What he say?" The husband, trying to avoid embarrassment, quickly responds, He thinks he knows you. So it is the middle of the night, and Laura wakes up to find that her husband is out of bed. She dresses in her robe and goes downstairs to find him sitting in front of a turned-off TV, holding a cup of coffee and looking into the distance, lost in some sad thought. "What's the matter, honey?" she asks. "Why the heck are you down here at this hour?" Her husband looks up at her. "Do you remember when we started dating, when you were just 17? "Sure," she answers, puzzled. Her husband groaned in sadness. "And do you remember when your father, the sheriff, caught us fooling around?" "Yes, of course." "And do you remember how he shoved his shotgun in my face and said, 'You either marry her or I'll put you in jail for 20 years'? "Yeah, I do. Why are you so nostalgic all of a sudden?" she demanded to know. The husband wiped a tear from his cheek and said, "It's just, I would have been out today."